welcome back to my channel. Today we have the new book releases for April, so there may not be all of them. If I do miss any, leave a comment down below for me, because I need to know if I forget anything. So I have a little notepad, so each time every month I will go through some authors. If I like the authors or the way their book is, then I'm going to write that, because next year I have an idea. So basically I'm going to get one of those spinny wheel thingies on my phone, and I'm going to put how many number of authors I have, and whatever author I pick, what number it is, I'll pick up the author, and what's going to happen is I'm going to get a book from that author and read that book. If I like that book, I will continue getting that book from that author. But that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to start doing that from now on. No. So, let's get comfortable. This is going to be a long video, so first you sit down, relax, enjoy yourself, get some food, snacks, drink. Let's go. So the first book we have is The Otherworldly by F.T. Lukens. So there's a skeptic and a supernatural being make a crossroad deal to achieve their own ends, only to get more than they only bargained for living in this young adult romantic kind of adventure. So 17-year-old Ellie is not only a non-believer in a region where people swear the supernatural is real. Sure, they've been stuck in a 5-year winter, but there's got to be scientific explanation. If God is real, they wouldn't abandon their charges like this, leaving farmers like Ellie family to scrape by. So I'm intrigued by this book. I'm definitely going to get this book as well. And so I'll be writing this author down, because I definitely want to read that book and see what other books this author do bring. Next up we have Hearts Are Still Beating by Brooke Archer. So this is two teen girls who love each other, but before the end of the world and before one of them became infected with the virus, they turned it into a monster. So 17-year-old Mara is dead, mostly. And 17-year-old Rory is still alive, barely. That's literally all I got from that. Then next up we have the reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. So this is another mystery murder. I like murder mysteries, but the book for this is just not kind of like, I don't know why I think I definitely read a book by Holly Jackson, but I'm just not sure if I like the book series. Lights, cameras, fly. 18-year-old girl has lived her whole life in the shadow of her mum's mysterious disappearance. 16-year-old Rachel Price vanished, and young Belle was the only witness, but she has no memory of it. Rachel's gone, long soon dead, and Belle wishes everyone just moved on. All of a sudden, she just reappeared. Next up, we have Misdirection, or The Fault Lines by Anna Gracia. So Alice doesn't belong at the Bastel International's tennis tournament. She needed a sponsorship to attend. She only has a few wins on the junior circuit, and now she has no coach. Tennis was always a dream that she wanted, but she shared with Bar. But after his death, his family says she compete anyway, but does tennis even fit her into life without him? Next up we have is To a Darker Shore by Liana Schwartz. That one. This is a plain, poor, plus-size and autistic Alesta grew up trying to convince her kingdom that she is too useful to be sacrificed, like so many of their countries, poor, to appease the infernal monster across the poison sea to hell. So, when she attempts to prove herself, with the inventions going early, her best friend and head of the throne, Kieran, tries to blame it, expecting legacy, and ends up tied in her place. This sounds amazing. Obviously, that's all I'm interested in, because someone who's plain, poor, and looks like a plus-size and autistic, that's something I'm intrigued by, so I'm definitely getting this book by her. Next up we have is The Black Girl Survives in this one by Various White Alpha. So this is basically, to be simple, you know in horror movies where always is the black person that always does get killed first? In this one, they survive. They are the one that survives, always. I love that. I love that about that. Next up we have Homebody by Theo Parrish. This is a graphic novel, so I'm not a big fan of graphic novels like this. Yes, I read mangas, but they're not really graphic. Graphic has colour pages, these don't. So this is about a personal story of a non-binary person finding a home in their own body. Next up we have is Your Blood, Your Bone by Kelly Andrew. Okay. This is a seductively twisted romance about loyalty, fate, and the lengths we go to hide the darkest parts of ourselves and the people who love those parts most of all. So the reason why I want to get this book, because one is an Alcrate, and I'm trying to see if I can get this book in the Alcrate series, because Alcrate also have an item from Margaret Robertson series. I think it was Enchanted of Faith, Ravens. I think there's an item that's going in that box. And I really want that, and then the book's like clustered, so if I do get that, then I will be getting that book. But the book, look at this cover, come on. This cover is beautiful and amazing. Next up we have The Breakup List by Abid Corin. So this is as a techie estate manager, a lightning guy, a jackal theatrical trade, Jackson is not a fan of the spotlight, and he isn't too fond of romance either, ever since his actor ex-boyfriend decided he was too cool to be dating a techie freshman year. Dude. Next up we have The Numbers Girls by Cabrina Gordon. So this is a stirring and dramatic story of one woman who must find her way to overcome her deepest fears or to unlock the secrets that will help America and allies to the victory as World War II rages on. So I'm not really a big fan of World War kind of stories, but who knows. I know this book was coming. So this book is called Dagger by Four by June C.L. Tan. So one is coming in a Fairy book box. I believe it's coming in my April box, and I'm so excited. I already have one of her books somewhere. Oh, there, Jade Fire Gold, just right behind me. So I have that book and I loved it. And then this is basically, it's going to be a duology. It's between a Shadowhunters Chronicles meets a Chinese underworld drawing inspiration from the Spooner folklore, a vengeful girl, a hollow boy, and a missing god. What else did you want? Gimme. So yes, I will be getting this book. Next up we have is The Wrath of Italian by Sophie Kim. Excuse me. So everyone thinks the sleeper of the Sampo 18-year-old assassin Lynn is dead. The only one who knows the truth are her cherished sister and Hinyaru, the gorgeous emperor she was sent to kill and kiss instead. Sounds amazing. Yes, please. So some of these I already have them on, so we'll see. Next up we have Drawn Down to the Moon by PC Cast and Kristen Cast. So I have read the Spellbound, I don't know what the book was called. But I did enjoy it, but the second book was very boring to me, so I stopped getting this author's book. But this sounds interesting. Ren Nightingale isn't supposed to have any powers, born of magical parents but not under a moon sign. She was destined for life as a mundane right up until she starts glowing on her 18th birthday. So in a heartbeat, Ren's life is turned upside down and she's suddenly leaving her home for a mystical Academia de la Luna, a secret magical school on a hidden island of the Seattle coast. That sounds amazing. And it's kind of giving me Shadowhunters and Winx Club vibes. I don't know why, but it's kind of giving me that. Okay, so next up we have Something Kindred by Sarah Birch. Welcome to Cold Water, comes the ghost, stay for the drama. So this is all about ghosts coming in. Not too bad. Next up we have Not Going Back by Patrick Flores Scott. Antonio is determined to make amends to people he hurt the most, even if it means breaking the terms of his early release from juvenile detention. So this guy is done bad things and he's going back to the people who he hurt to apologise and return for his sins. Fair enough on that one. Okay, next up we have Fate Be Changed. This is by Farah Racon, so this is part of their Twisted Tale series. So I did have the books, but I slowly started getting rid of them. But now I really want the books again because this one is about Merida. But what if Merida was given a wrong, like a different spell instead of the bear spell? And I'm intrigued. So I might leave a comment down below whether I should get this book series again, Twisted Tale series, because I might have to. It sounds so good, and I kind of miss reading these. Next up we have Call for the Fox by Markel Grabo. So through the western woods is room to be home to wicked fairies. 15-year-old Rosin forges without fear into the night. She saves a red fox from a bear, and that bear turns on her. Ro and her sister survives attack. But the forest isn't finished with them yet, for on a seemingly unnerving boar, the bear is truly a boy who's been cursed by fairies and forced to take a deadly competition. And the red fox is actually a girl, the same girl the village Ro has fallen for. So a little like killing and a lot confusing to me. But next up we have The Teenage Dirtbag by James Acker. So this is an unlikely group of teens coming together to exact revenge on a person who wronged them. So all fares are love and revenge. Doesn't seem like something I want to read. But nice. So Teenage Dirtbag, just reminds me of the song. Next up we have Canto Condogo by Johnny Gathavilla. So in a 24-hour span, Raphael led North Admist High School's Marici Alma de la Frontera to their 11th consecutive first place win in this national met. Made out with and almost hooked up with one of the cutest guys he's met, and he lost his abuelo after a heartbreaking battle with Parkinson's disease. A lot of things sounds like it's going to happen on this, but again, it's not something I'm leading to. It does sound like it's interesting. Next up we have Every Time You Hear That Song by Jenna Forrest. So this is Dumpins, Daisy Jones and the Six. This kind of like PRV kind of like song to country idols, romantic road trips and queer love. So they say they never meet your idols, but they never said about anything about upending your life or design a quest by one. Next up we have is The Darkness Rises by Stacey Stokes. So this is a kind of, so this is a girl who can see the power to see death before it even happens. So she tries and stops these murders, like these deaths, before they actually happen. She decides to do one, saves one, but the person she actually saved was actually a psychopath and basically a killer. A serial killer. Yeah, so that sounds interesting. I'm into that, so definitely gonna have Next up we have is The Infernal Curse of Ophelia Cray by Christine Keller. So this is basically a pirate's daughter. She gets denied by the pirate's mum. Basically, she's done stealing, she's done something. She doesn't want to be like her mum at all. She wants to have this normal life. She wants to work for the king and everything like this. She wants to be one of those soldiers, but they denied her. So what she does is she takes her sister's identity and goes into her way. Next up we have Right Here Right Now by Shannon Duplang. So this is a friendship and possibly a fan who reach down. So the world spins, particles spin, and love endures. There's infinity universes in which Alyssa never dies. Her best friend Anna never had to mourn her or choose between the weight of her grief and the weight of her ambition. Her cousin Liam never has to lose another loved one or fight to find purpose in a life that already doesn't feel like his own. Next up we have The Last Love Song by Kaylee Halford. So this is a queer Mamma Mia with a dash of Maureen Johnson, The Last Love. So that's just literally all you can need. It's a really queer YA Mamma Mia series. What could you get with that? Next up we have Dear Windy by Anna Zahos. When I first read this, saw that, it kind of reminds me of, say, Dear Windy. Oh, okay, it's going to be a Peter Pan retelling. Nope. So this is about two individuals and the students of the Weasley College engage in an online feud where unknown Korean friends in real life, but they're online, they're enemies. Next up we have We're Never Getting Home by Tracy Badu. So this is Jenna and her best friend Maddie are having an epic senior year final queued up, catching their favourite band at the Orchards and outdoor music festivals a 2-hour drive away. But when blowing up at Maddie Time's sucking boyfriend exposed a rift that might have been already going between them, Jenna calls off the joint trip and gives a lift to the festival from her church friend Nathan, only to realise Maddie and her boyfriend are along for the ride too. Next up we have is The Lady of the Raptor by Sarah Raffley. So this is the final to this kind of trilogy. So for years, elite secret society called the Lightman Committee has waited for the apocalyptic force known as the Hive is to destroy the world as it's so many times before. What this committee doesn't know, however, was that Hive wasn't an event, it was a person. Okay. Excuse me, sorry. Next up we have This Is Me Driving by Carol Merrily. So growing up, Bryce, Beatrice and Santiago were inseparable, but when Santiago moved away before high school, their friendship crumbled. And 3 years later, Bryce is gone, Beatrice known as his dead boy's girlfriend, and Santiago is back. Interesting. Why is there a cat in the picture? Okay. Next up we have The Merciless Saviors by H.E. Edgman. So the day of the first Church of Gracie changed everything for Jim, and not because Maria and Bobby betrayed them, forced to use the Ouroboros knife on Zephyr, who had kidnapped their parents. Jim had now the power of the god of the air. Okay, but not something that I'm like, it's not, you know, these books need to pull to me, like, give it to me. Next up is The Night Is Ours by Ronnie Davis. So it's the long day of the year, and 18-year-old Brandy Bailey has just received the worst news of his life. She's just been accepted to the top nursing school, making her her mother overwhelmed. But the thing is though, Brandy doesn't want to be a nurse. She wants to be an artist, a painter. That's what she wants. But there's no risk for chasing your dreams. Always risk chasing your dream. If you can make it there, do it. Next up we have is The One That Got Away with Murder by Trish Lundy. So be careful who you fall for. Robbie and Trevor Crasmore has a body count, the killer kind. Handsome and popular, these brothers have enough wealth and privilege to ensure that they never be found of guilty of wrongdoing. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. That sounds amazing. 2 brothers who get away with murder. Sign me up. Yes, please. Okay, so next up we have Dragonflight by Akara Lucia. So this is a romantic fantasy inspired by Pacific Island mythology. In the old tales, it is written that an egg of a sea dragon fruit held within its pouch under a person's greatest sorrow. But it was all things. Hang on. Anyway, so it comes with a great warning to get this dragon fruit. So I'm intrigued, but not something I'm intrigued by. So if you have read this book, guys, and you enjoyed it, please leave that comment down below as well for me. Next up we have is, oh god, Sheeny Lindy by Darcy Little Badger. I hope I pronounced it wrong, but I doubt that. I never pronounced anything right. So Darcy's Little Badger's Alezzo launched her career, and in the years since, and there has become a beloved favourite. So again, the cover looks cute, but it's not something for me to catch my eye to. Next up is Deep in the Fen by Lily Wilkinson. So I think like I've had this book, this author before, but didn't really enjoy read. So this is Mary doesn't need a happily ever after. Her life is charming in this town of a candle cold, just fine as it is. Simple, happy with absolutely no magic. Magic only ever leads to trouble. Next up we have is The Pretty Viewers by E.K. Johnson. So this is in the farm town of Edmondville, Ontario. 5 high school friends has had enough. They experience the worst abuse, bullying, and experience the gaslighting that community has to offer. So it all hasn't been all bad because they have each other. But they decided to go, you know, seniors year is going to be the best because they're going to do what they're not going to do, what they're going to be. Great revenge. Next up we have The Harrying by Jen Hickman and Kristen Kensley. So this is a graphic novel that's coming out. So this is a psycho teen hunts potential killers until she discovers the boy she loves is her next target. So the person she loves is potentially going to be their next killer. Okay, calm down. Next up we have is Whisper in the Walls by Scott Rettingen. So this is a sequel to A Dawn in the Dark, I believe. So this is Ren's intellect and kind of stretched the limit in her quest to take down the system that stole her father's life. Never read the first book, so I wouldn't know anything about it. Next up we have The Dark Parts of the Universe by Samuel Miller. So this is Outer Banks meets B1 Gap. So it's a mystery group following a group of teenagers who discovers a dead body while playing an app-based adventure game that sends players to random locations and unlocking a much deeper mystery about their small town. That's kind of interesting because they go to different locations of what, do they just find dead bodies? Next up we have is The Finally Flits by Marissa Kenter. So a bisexual teen girl tries to make her ex jealous by faking an Instagram romance that leads to surprising real feelings in a hinted kind of rom-com. Okay, this kind of reminds me of an anime a little bit. So like a girl takes a picture of the wolf girl, the wolf boy, and the Black Prince and the wolf girl, something like that, the anime. Because where she takes a picture of a guy, it's not jealousy or anything to get someone jealous or anything, but she takes a picture of a guy and then she asks that guy to be a boyfriend, but this is mostly the same. Next up we have is Killed Her Twice by Stacey Lee. So this is a kind of murder mystery noir set in the 1930s Los Angeles and Chinatown. That sounds already good. So I'm going to leave that as that. Next up we have is The King of Dead Things by Naveen Hollis. So the fans of legend-born Neil Gaiman and Leo Bogan, this urban young adult fantasy steeped in Afro-Caribbean folklore follows two black teens searching for power artifacts in the hidden magical side of London. Raising the dead is easy and living is harder. Okay. Next up we have Song of the Six Thumbs by Judy I. Lin. So this is a gothic romance worthy of the heavens in Song of the Six Rams. This kind of reminds me of the drama that's coming out, I think, that kind of rolls around this. So there's that. Next up we have is The Vanishing Station by Andrea Exon. So this 18-year-old Filipino-American Ruby Santos has been unmoored since her mother's death. She can't apply to art school like she was always dreamed. She and her father had to move into the basement of their home and rent out the top floor while they worked to pay back her mother's hospital bills. Damn, that must be horrible. Next up we have is The Wild Dreamers by Margarita Engel. Don't come for me, okay? So Anna and her mother have been living out of their car ever since her father became one of FBI's most wanted. Ay. Lindro has struggled with debilitating anxiety since his family fled Cuba on a Polaris RAF. Next up we have the punk rock karaoke by Bianca Excuse. So this is again another graphic novel, and this says, when life gives you guitars, smash them. Okay, fair enough. Next up we have Off With Their Heads by Zoe Han Mikuta. Trust me guys, I will get something when I'm not looking down. I'm not looking down at my phone because that's where my information is. So if I'm looking there, if I'm looking here. So this is a Korean-inspired Alice in Wonderland retelling about two girls, wicked girls, forever bonded by blood and betrayal. Okay, that sounds amazing. Just need that. So I'm gonna write that name down. Next up, we have is Out of the Blues by M.E. Corey. So M.E. Corey's Out of the Blue comes a green A trans boy wants what every other teenager wants: a girlfriend, a successful rock band. When a new girl assumes he's cis, he asks him out and he accepts without correcting her. That's a bit stupid. Next up we have is The Nursing King by More High by Lily Sparks. So when the adults of Brockton Connector Cart morphs into a gigantic bloodthirsty monsters 9 months ago, the students of Jeffrey High barricaded themselves inside their school. Now 18-year-old Kim K, so K Kim, is one of the students' members trying to keep her classmates from starving. So they're stuck in the school with the whole world gone down. Okay. Next up we have The Blood Justice by Terry J. Benson Walker. So this says, Blood Justice is the hotly anticipated to the Blood Duet. That's literally what I got from that. The cover look pretty good though. but I don't know anything about the book. Next up we have Where Was Goodbye by Janice Lynn Mather. A teenage girl searches for closure after her brother dies by suicide in this breathtaking novel. Don't like those ones. Next up is I'll Be Waiting For You by America Turk. So this is Natalie and Imogen are inseparable and widely different. So Imogen is infinitely humble and incredibly intelligent, while Natalia is brave, jump into danger and new adventures. So one thing tying them together is their love for supernatural. Every summer on their vacation with their parents at the family's haunted Hallow Hotel, Imogen is a true believer, while Natalie sees ghost stories as nothing but pure fun. But I'm guessing something happens. Hello. This song. The next book is called Sound the Gong by John Hinn. So this is the duology to the second book. So I haven't actually read the first one, so I'm not going to read anything much that's contained, but this is from the second book to Shrek the Cedar. Next up we have Playing for Keeps by Jennifer Dungan. June is the star pitch of an elite club baseball team with the ego to match. She is a shooting to recruit at the college level, like her parents have always envisioned. That is, that she can play through an overused injury that has recently gone bad to worse. Next up we have is The Saints Seducing Gold by Brittany N. Williams. So this is the second book in a trilogy. Doesn't say anything. Short but spectacular. I'm not sure what the first book is called, but I'm not going to say because I don't want to read the second book. I'll read one line. There's danger in the court of James 1. That's all I'm going to say about that. Next up we have The Last Boyfriend's Rules for Revenge by Matthew Hubbard. So this is a queer coming of age about 3 teenage boys in a small town of Alabama who set out to get revenge on their ex-boyfriends and end up starting a student rebellion. Okay. Next up we have The Notes by Kathleen Cormorse. This is a reserved Chinese-American teen at age 7, performing arts boarding school, comes into her own under the tutelage of a glamorous new piano teacher. Coming of age romance. Next up we have Is Not Like Other Girls by Meredith Ademo. So this is Holly Jackson meets Courtney Summers in this powerful debut mystery about a missing girl and a girl trying to find herself again. Next up we have is Pillow Talk by Stephanie Cook and Mel Valentino Vangas. So this is about Cinderella is a physical competitor in a PBF, so Pillow Fight Federation. So it's actually a game. Okay. So this is part of a roller derby, part professional wrestling. It's a graphic novel as well, by the way. And that's it. Okay. Didn't see that one. So I think I'm looking forward to a few authors, which I am looking forward to. I cannot wait to read them. So if you do keep an eye on it, click subscribe, guys, to see my idea roll out. And hopefully I can film it as well, like my rolling the dice. I'm going to try and put up my Instagram and my YouTube as well, so you can see both of them. And then I'll pick up the books and pick out what I'm choosing as well and everything like that. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys next time for the next month's book release.